What's going on, everybody? What's up? It's your boy Mike, the Naughty Cruiser, and it is Thirsty Thursday, Throw It Back Thursday, Throat Punch Thursday, back from the Venezia Thursday. How you doing? I hope we're all having a fantastic night. I hope we don't have no camera issues this week. I have it plugged into a different port on the Mac, but the camera was frozen when I came back over to the computer and had to turn it off and turn it back on. So if we have them issues again tonight, I am just going to operate right off the Mac computer screen and just stare this way the whole time and use the webcam from the computer because I'm not going to do that this week. I'm not going to fight with technology. How's everyone doing? Lourdes is in Mykonos, so I'm a little jealous there. But let's get right to the chat first because we have someone special jumping in. First things first in the chat. We have Gay all the way from Australia claiming the first spot this week, followed by Scott McNeil, Sharon in the house, Anthony in the house, Lourdes in the house. All of the faithful are here, and listen, I'm a little excited because the Phillies went into extra innings, and they just scored 2 runs. They were up 7-5, so that means my Phillies are hopefully going to sweep the Tampa Bay Rays. But we're not here to talk baseball. We're here to talk Carnival Venezia. And we are here to talk all things fun Italian style on board the Carnival Venezia. And I had an amazing experience on board that ship. So before we deep dive into the Carnival Venezia, D is in the house. What's going on, D? So before we deep dive into the Carnival Venezia, I want to talk to you a little bit about a few things that I've received in the mail. And then we're going to dive right into the Carnival Venezia. Ocean, the ocean travel in the house. Lourdes, we have a pope. Yes, we do have a pope. And for the first time, we have a pope from America. So it is the very first time a pope has been elected from America. And it's an awesome feeling, right? And I put a little post out on Facebook. I usually don't post too much religious stuff on social media. I am a devout Catholic. I am very deep within my religion. So when I went over to Italy last year, the one thing I wanted to do, and I told Chuck, no matter what we do, I don't care what we do. We can do whatever you want the whole time we're here. I just need to get to the Vatican, and I just need to go for the Sunday blessing. And we managed to do that, and I was happy with that. It was absolutely incredible watching Pope Francis give the Sunday blessing and all of that from St. Peter's Square. It was one of those most down-to-earth, humbling feelings you could ever experience. So being able to be there and experience that was an epic part of my life. And I go back in October, and hopefully this time I go back, I will be able to go back and we'll have a new Pope, Pope Leo. So that's big news. And it's just a great experience all around. And if you're a Catholic, it's definitely one of those things you'll never forget, right? And when we elected popes, I was younger. It wasn't really a big thing, right? Like Pope John Paul II died 2005. I was still in high school. Pope Benedict was elected, then retired. He was the first pope to ever retire. You never really heard of a pope retiring. And then we had Pope Francis. So it was definitely in my younger years, right? I was a lot younger than I was now. So I got to see Pope Francis twice. I got to see him once in Philadelphia when I lived there, when he came through Philadelphia, and then again at the Vatican in this past April. So humbling, very religious experiences, and I absolutely enjoyed both of them. Diabetic in the house. What's going on? But I wanted to talk about a few things, right? So Gay went on an epic adventure. Let's do this. Before we dive into the Venezia, let's regroup for a second because now my brain's a little... So before we dive into the Venezia, I want to talk to you about a few things. I received a lovely package in the mail while I was away, and I couldn't wait to get home to open said package. So Gay and Dan went on an epic Japan itinerary cruise, and I got some goodies in the mail received from Gay and her husband Dan, and I wanted to just show a few of those out of appreciation, but I want to show you a few of them because I think they're like some of the coolest things that were in this bag. So I want to go through this real fast before we get on board the whole Venezia thing, because that's going to take majority of the hour, because when I tell you there's so much amazing stuff on that ship, I am not going to lie. So I don't want to get too deep into the comments. I'll get right back into the comments after we do this, but let's just talk about these things. Now, I got a ton of stuff in this bag, and I only picked a few things to show you out of this bag because I'm super excited about the things that were here, and I'm going to save my favorite thing for last, right? So first things first, I'm dropping stuff on the floor. First things first, we got some Tim Tams. Now, I've never had Tim Tams. I have held on to these things and haven't opened them because I want to try all the stuff with the kids. So we got some Tim Tams. I got this cool little Tokyo subway map, which it might just be a piece of paper, but this is actually pretty legit. This is one of my favorite things in there because it shows you the whole subway system just around the city of Tokyo. So if the subway system in Tokyo looks like this, can you imagine what the subway system around the whole country looks like? We got some Ninjago Legos from Japan, and they left all the cool little like Japanese receipts and all that stuff on everything, which makes it that much cooler. I'm going to try one of these on the live with you tonight, but they're orange Kit Kats. And I'm a sticker freak, so if you ever travel with me, you know I'm going to pick up stickers everywhere I go. I got this epic Japan sticker, which I tried to see if it would fit on the back of my phone, but it wouldn't fit without cutting out the camera part. So I think this is going to get slapped onto the computer somewhere, so it's always with me. That's an epic sticker, and it's made in Japan, which is another awesome thing. And I got something else that the kids are already saying they're afraid to try, but this didn't come from Japan. This just came in the package. And y'all know Gay is from Australia, and I got a jar of Vegemite. So the kids and I are going to make a little video of trying some Vegemite. Now, she did send me a video on how we should try it, and in that video, the Aussie did say this is an American size and this is an Aussie size. I think I'm going to try an Aussie size portion of Vegemite. But the coolest thing in that whole package, and the one thing I think is the coolest thing out of them all, is this here. It's a little postcard size painting that Gay did on board the ship when they were in Japan and seeing Mount Fuji from the ship. So I think this is probably the coolest thing inside the whole package because it didn't come from a store. It didn't come from a market or somewhere like that. This was literally painted while on board the cruise. She took time out of her vacation to paint this and then decided to send it to me. So this is the most epic piece in that whole package. I think it serves a way better purpose than anything else that's inside that package. So Gay and Dan, I appreciate you very much. I do have a package getting ready to be sent out to you both. I don't want to show you what's in it. I want you to be surprised. And when you get it, we'll talk about it on a Thursday night live. But there's some goodies in there for both you and Dan, as well as the puppies. So you'll definitely enjoy it because this is stuff you can't get in Australia. That's one thing I made sure of. This is something you can't get unless you purchase online in Australia. So I hope you like it. I know you're going to like it, but I'll let you know as soon as I send that out in the mail. And that'll be coming relatively quickly to you from the States. So let's get back to the comments real quick before we jump on board the Carnival Venezia. I went to the Vatican when I lived in Germany, but nothing like that. Yeah, it's an awesome experience. If you can ever get to the Vatican, I highly suggest it. If I knew I had more time, it's kind of hard to say, right? Like, if I knew all this was going to happen, I would have definitely went over just to be there for this whole experience. Really nice to meet you, Mike. Had a great cruise. Hope you and Chuck had fun, too. Mark, it was a pleasure meeting you as well. We had an awesome time. Me and Chuck had a blast. When me and Chuck cruise together, we always have a good time. We find the most boring thing possible and still tend to have the best time on board the ship. Good evening, Tony from sunny Southern California. Man, I wish it was still sunny here. It's 10:10 at night. It's pretty dark outside. But no artistic talent or not, I think that's the best piece inside the whole package, and I really appreciate it. So thank you again for sending that bag of stuff. I really do appreciate it. Now let's dive deep into the Carnival Venezia. I know there's a lot of you that have sailed upon many Carnival ships over the years. This ship is completely different. Now, keep in mind, the reason it's different is because it was built for the Costa Corporation, right? This was a Costa branded ship, the Costa Venezia. So it was built for Costa, the sister line to Carnival Corporation. It falls under that umbrella. P&O, which is no longer Australia. Well, P&O Australia is no longer. Princess Cruises, Cunard Cruises, IATA, all of that falls under that Carnival Corporation umbrella. So with that being in mind, they built this ship that was supposed to sail around the Mediterranean. The ship was built between 2016-17 and it was introduced into service in 2018. Now we all know what happened shortly after that 2018 year mark. We had the big worldwide cruising shutdown. Now that ship sat just like every other cruise ship. Shortly after COVID happened, the whole restart happened, right? Now we're talking 2021 when the whole restart reoccurred and all of that stuff. So the year now is 2025. It is not that old of a ship. It was put in service in 2018. So you're talking 7 years old. It's a 7-year-old ship that just went through a dry docking process to be rebranded under the Carnival colors, the Carnival flag, the Carnival fun Italian style. And I can tell you this. It's Carnival, it's fun, and it's definitely an Italian-style ship. There are so many different things to see and do on board the Carnival Venezia, and the decor alone transports you back to Italy. If you've ever been, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You walk around and see the statues, the paintings, the archways, the vines. It transports you back to Italy. Now, I love the way Carnival kept that whole concept because it plays very well into the Carnival fun Italian style. The greatest thing about this ship is its size. If you've been on the Horizon or the Vista, then you'll know this ship very well because it is part of that Horizon Vista class. It is laid out the exact same way. You know exactly where everything is. And the only thing that I have to complain about it is the destination elevators. The reason I have complaints on the destination elevators is because people don't know how to use said destination elevators because there's only few ships within the Carnival Corporation fleet that have the destination elevators, as well as other cruise lines. But other than that, this ship was incredible. I do have some little small nitpicking things that I think would be better if they weren't there or if it was possible to change. But they're not things that are going to make me change my mind about sailing on this ship again or the sister ship, the Firenze, out of California. Those things would be deck 11. It is very, very hot and humid in the Caribbean. We know that. I live in Florida. You walk out the door, you get smacked with the humidity. You want to turn right back around and go inside. Well, this ship has a open and closed roof over the Lido deck. So the Lido deck is deck 10 and deck 11 is where this nice, gorgeous, you can call it terrace style deck is. And that's where they have the bocce ball, the ping pong tables, all the different types of games for you to do up there. And the roof opens and closes. Now the reason it gets very hot and humid up there is because it's all enclosed. It is not an open deck. It's not an open air deck space. It is an enclosed deck on board deck 11. Same with the Lido. It's not your traditional Carnival where it is open deck 10, 11, 12. It has that wide open space. It is a very enclosed space. And each part of the ship is kind of built in sections and rooms. So there's lots of walls, there's lots of lot of archways, but it gives the ship its character. That's what brings that flair of Italian style to the ship. So if you can get by with those few things of it being hot and being a little sticky and humid in those certain areas, then you will have a fantastic time. Now, when I tell you this ship is set up just like the Vista class and the Horizon class, it's 100% set up the same. On deck 5, you have La Strada Grill. Right on the outside of deck 5 on Vista and Horizon, you have Guy's Barbecue. So the things that you would see on board those Vista and Horizon class ships, it's pretty much set up the exact same way on board the Firenze and the Venezia. Now, I did enjoy the Lido deck a lot more on board the Venezia than I have on other ships, and the reason is because they have Java Blue Cafe. Now, for those of you who know me and have cruised with me, you know my specialty coffee is one of my favorite things to get on board any cruise ship, and especially Carnival, because my drinks are normally free through the casino offers that I book. So I definitely enjoy a great cup of coffee, and with it being on the Lido deck, it made it absolutely easy and convenient to get to. It also made it in your face more to where you would get more coffee throughout the day, and I am not one to complain when it comes to drinking more coffee. I personally believe that I need 10 to 12 cups of coffee a day. Now the doctor will tell you I should probably drink 10 to 12 cups of water a day. But I am a firm believer in drinking coffee. I enjoy my coffee. I love my cold brew. I love my hot coffee. I am a coffee fanatic. So it made it very easy and convenient to be able to go and get coffee right at the Lido deck. It was right there. Great big open space. The only time I had to wait in line was early in the mornings. If I decided to go get coffee early in the morning before we got off the ship, instead of drinking the mud water they offer in the dining room or the buffet, I would just have to wait in a little bit of a line. But I can tell you this, it was well worth the wait. The baristas at this coffee place, absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best I've ever had on board a Carnival ship. Now, we all know specialty dining is a big thing. I don't know why I got to spend extra money on specialty food when I've already paid for my cruise and I'm getting all my food included. But I always do some form of specialty dining, whether it's the chef's table, usually the steakhouse, Rudy Sea Grill on board some of the XL class ships. This time I decided to go with El Viaggio. I figured it's an Italian ship, Carnival Fun Italian style, Italian restaurant. Let's try it out. And I tell you, when I first sat down and I first looked at that menu and I first took that bite of pasta, I was teleported from a cruise ship back to when I was in Italy with Chuck. The food in El Viaggio was phenomenal. The waitstaff, phenomenal. From the antipastas to the appetizers to the soups. We all know Carnival makes a good soup, but the zuppa di orzo was absolutely incredible. The focaccia bread with the pesto and the mozzarella cheese baked in was phenomenal. I did not have a bad meal there, to the point to where I actually went twice in 7 days. Yeah, we went twice in 7 days on board the Venezia to El Viaggio, and both times we went, we had a phenomenal experience in that restaurant. So I highly recommend, if you are going to get on board the Venezia anytime soon, or on the Firenze, because it is on the Firenze as well, you try El Viaggio. Now, El Viaggio is one of those restaurants, it's just like Rudy Sea Grill, it's just like Fahrenheit 555. They all have a celebrity chef attached to them in some way, and the celebrity chef for El Viaggio is the one, the only Emerald Lagasse. So, bam! There you go. There's your little tip for specialty dining on board the Carnival Venezia. And let me tell you this one. It is cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. I wouldn't say a lot cheaper, but it's significantly cheaper than the other options available on board. Like the steakhouse. The steakhouse is $54, I believe now. And El Viaggio is only $42. So you're going to save a little bit of coin. You're still going to have a phenomenal dinner in a phenomenal atmosphere with excellent waitstaff. And let me tell you this, order the chicken pizza, because it's not just an appetizer, it's an appetizer and a show with how they bring it to the table. So that was specialty dining. It was phenomenal. We'll touch a little bit on the casino. The casino hosts were great on board this ship. Now, it's just like them other class ships. They don't have a bar inside the casino. So anytime you are playing and ordering drinks, it will take a little bit longer to get your drinks due to the fact that they have no bar right inside the casino. Not the biggest downfall, not the biggest issue. Maybe to some, but not to all, right? The one thing I liked about this casino is it paid money. That's the greatest thing about it, and there will be a video coming very, very soon. But the first day was absolutely incredible. Went to the casino, we smacked it, and we did really good the first day. So the casino's great. What else did I enjoy about this ship? The atrium is phenomenal. It's gorgeous the way they have the atrium set up. It's kind of like that old school Carnival atrium. But it doesn't have that big like movie screen funnel in the middle. It has a nice tower lion statue in the center. So the way that's set up is actually pretty cool. The gondola dining room, that is an epic dining room. So if you're ever on board, I highly suggest you don't pick your dining time, like your same dining time every night, because if you did, you would be eating in the Marco Polo with an assigned dining time. If you chose your time dining, which is when you check in the Hub app, you would eat in the gondola dining room. Now, the gondola dining room is an absolutely awesome dining room. That's the dining room that has the gondola dead smack in the middle, obviously. But I will tell you this, if you are a person who needs your phone or does what I do and post things on Facebook, don't go to the back of the dining room because your internet literally craps out and you have no internet. Now, I know that's not a big issue for a lot of people, but for me, I like to be able to create my post and put them on Facebook while in a dining room, get your input on what I should eat or what you would eat if you were on board the ship, and just be able to do things like that. I had issues with my phone the whole time. Now, I will tell you this, Chuck didn't have no problems. He said he had service the whole time, but my phone's internet said kaploopy, did not have any. Other than that, everything was great. We had Mike as the cruise director. Ton of events going on board the ship, as always with Carnival. Carnival does know how to do some phenomenal events, from the Love and Marriage show to the comedy to the double comedy. The piano bar was wonderful as always. Yeah, and like Chuck said, the waiter had to write down the orders. And it wasn't just the one night. It was multiple nights they had to write down the orders. And Carnival does everything from the phones now. So if they got to pull out the old school pen and paper, you know the internet is having a little bit of an issue. The ports we went to were great. We went to San Juan, Amber Cove, Dominican Republic, and St. Thomas. Now, Amber Cove, you know, it's a bust for me. It's not really a big deal if I get off on Amber Cove. It's one of those ports that I've been to multiple times. I do like to get off and just walk around the port a little bit and then get back on board the ship. So I did get off for a little while in Amber Cove. San Juan, we got off and did a little city tour on San Juan. Old San Juan, new San Juan. I put a short out about that today. And then we went to St. Thomas and it rained. So we didn't do much in St. Thomas because it rained majority of the day. We just stuck around the port area a little bit and just hung out there. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to handle the casino video, LOL. Do channel members and Patreons get advance notice of the outcome? So channel members and Patreons get the video before everybody else. So once the video posts, I go and I create a members only post. And I let everybody know that the video is coming. So that'll be coming probably, it's a busy weekend for me, but it'll probably be coming early next week. So that, I will tell you this right now. If you were stressed out about the one video where you were watching me spend $5 or whatever it was, this one's going to stress you out even more. Because I was spending $25 a spin in this video. Now, I'm going to tell you this. The video absolutely pays me out. Like, it wholeheartedly does me very well. It's not going to be a bad video. It's going to have a great outcome at the end. And you learn a little bit about the Carnival point system throughout the video, right? So the whole purpose of that video was to figure out the amount of points that you would get for spending $1,000 in the Carnival Casino at $25 a bet. So, it's worth it. I enjoyed making the video. Chucky was sitting next to me playing on the machine directly next to me. He was having fun playing over there. So it was just a great video all around, and I'm going to get it out. It's definitely going to come out, and it's going to come out real soon. But I've worked on some shorts over the last few weeks, the last few days I've been working on shorts. So I definitely want to post some shorts over the next few days. And then there's going to be a members only video that goes live and all that stuff. If I had more members, now this isn't like no plug to be like, hey, be a member. If I had more members, I would do like a monthly live stream just for members only. Send $5 to the Naughty Cruiser Vlogs gift memberships. Databetic in the house. Let's go. New member. New member. It was some fun. It was definitely fun. It was definitely some fun. Wait, what is that? Sent 5. The Naughty Cruiser Travel Vlogs gift memberships. Man, you be giving memberships out to people? You don't have to do that, man. I really appreciate that. That is awesome. That is awesome. Natasha in the house. Robin in the house. John V in the house. How did I miss John V? How did I miss John V? He's all the way up top. Will G. I missed Will G too. Look, y'all get me ranting about this ship, and I miss everybody. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to leave y'all hanging. I did not intentionally miss y'all. And Will G, we got to talk, bro, because I'm getting ready to go to Texas, and a big thing for me is Buc-ee's. Y'all already know I got to go to Buc-ee's. I love me some Buc-ee's. And we're using Galveston Saltwater Moms to get from the hotel in Texas to Galveston. And the lady told Cameron, who I'm going with, that we only have 10 minutes at Buc-ee's. So I was like, look up the closest Buc-ee's. I'll get an Uber when I land at 9 o'clock at night, and I'll go to Buc-ee's when I get there. Well, this Uber is like a micro, or this Buc-ee's is like a micro Buc-ee's. They're very, very tiny. I didn't know they existed. I didn't think they would ever be that small. People are saying this is like a 2 7-Elevens put together. I don't want to go to a store that's small. That's not a Buc-ee's. That's like a Beaver. That's not even a Buck. It's like an E. Either way, I figured I would talk to you and Martin about it and be like, yo, what's up? I thought Texas did things bigger. We got bigger Buc-ee's in Florida. What's up with this little thing? What's up with this little thing? So, needless to say, I'm going to catch an Uber from Hobby down to the one in Texas City the night I land. I'm not gonna go to that little one there in Houston. That's not gonna happen. So, but on board the ship, I did some great walking around. I got a good ship tour coming in. I did a little bit of a ship tour during the nighttime for the Lido deck, just to show how they light up that Lido deck and light things up, and how they bring that little Italian flair to the ship at nighttime. So it's definitely a little twist on the ship tour than usual, but it's a great ship tour nonetheless. I tried to make it a simple, quick, just walk through ship tour. Don't want to do a lot of editing with it. Want to show the ship as much as in its raw form as possible. So that's one thing that's going to be coming out soon. The casino video is going to be coming out soon. Some casino shorts are going to drop over the weekend, so you'll see them. And now I'll do a members only live stream, or we'll do a Zoom call or something like that. We'll set something up over the next couple week or so and get that figured out. Right now we're still on strike at work. We're in negotiations from, Tuesday. What's today? Today's the 8th. So the 6th, 7th, and 8th, they were in negotiations, and we still don't know anything. So hopefully when I get there tomorrow, we'll know a little bit more about that. And at this point, I'm kind of just like, all right, well, get rid of the company, fire me, and I'll just cruise. But other than that, I don't really have nothing negative to say about the Venezia. It's a beautiful ship. If you haven't been on it, I highly suggest, if you're looking to get on a new ship, jump on board the Carnival Venezia. It's getting ready to go back to New York. Next week, I believe it repositions to go back to New York. What else about the ship? Man, it's an awesome ship. Oh, we can talk about the biggest duck I found ever on board. I found a mermaid duck, and it's the largest duck I've ever found on board a ship. That's like the size of my hand. This ain't no micro duck. Listen, I'll hold it up next to my cock, and you'll see the difference in size. See, there's my golden cock. It's super small, super tiny. compared to this massive, massive duck. And I know y'all people thought about something else when I said that, so y'all need to get your minds out of the gutter. I said it, y'all thought it. It wasn't me. But it's a great ship. I really don't have anything negative to say about it. Other than those few little things, man, like the destination elevators. And that's pretty much more on the cruisers than the cruise line. Because here's the big thing with destination elevators, right? The more people you have, the more times you have to push the button. And people don't seem to understand that concept. They think it's just like a regular elevator. You push the button when you get inside, and it'll stop at that floor. Well, the way these destination elevators work is it's a big computer screen. You push the floor you're going to, and it tells you what elevator to stand in front of. And the biggest problem is people have multiple people in their party, and they only push it once. Well, that elevator is only registering that there's one person waiting for that elevator to go to this floor. As where if you pushed it 2, 3, 4 times, depending on the amount of people in your party, the elevator might change. It might go from A to D or G because your party exceeds the amount of people that the elevator had left space-wise. So if you're ever on board a ship that has a destination elevator, make sure you push the amount of people that are in your party. I know it can be a little annoying. You got to push it, go back, push it, go back. But just make sure you do it for the amount of people in your party, and it'll make things go a lot smoother. Getting ready to be back in the U.S. Saturday. Lourdes had a good time on her ship, too. Her son did. He's having a wonderful time, too. Lourdes sent me a video. Her son did pretty good. Pretty good in that casino, and he only had 200 and some points. So I gotta give him a little bit of credit there. I think I need to cruise with Lourdes' son. Cruise ships are like food. I can't try something I can't spell. Yeah, it's a little tricky, right? So when I was on board the ship, I was telling Chuck, I was like, I need to learn how to say this before I put this in the video, because I'm not going to sound like a fool. And I used to do it in the beginning with the Venezia, right? I used to say Venezia. Well, it's Venezia. So I had to like train my brain to say it that way. I went to Buc-ee's in Daytona Beach on Easter. It was a complete madhouse. I grabbed what I wanted, and we were out in 10 minutes. All 100 gas pumps were full with lines waiting. That's insane. That Buc-ee's gets really busy. It gets really busy. The Venezia sounds great. Wish we had more cruise ship variety down here. Hardly any cruise ships down under at the moment. And that's a disappointing thing, right? Because you used to have P&O. Well, now P&O's out. So that takes away a little bit of the availability with cruising out of Australia. What stops guests from pushing 15 times to get an elevator to themselves? Nothing really. I mean, I don't think people understand the concept as much with the destination elevators for them to even sit there and push it 15 times. But I'd be that person to push it 15 times. I'd be like, all right, y'all don't know what you're doing. I'm going to get on a different elevator. But I took the steps a lot. That's one thing I did do. I took the steps a lot more on this ship than I did any other ship. And I'll be honest, I'm a big dude. I rarely take the steps. But I made it a point to take the steps a lot more. And you'll see that in the ship tour. I kind of bragged about myself taking all the steps. Does it tell you to push it the amount of times per passenger? So on the Venezia, when you got out of the elevator or even into the elevator bank, they had a TV right above the ship model map. And the TV showed you and told you how to call the elevator or what to do to get the elevator, depending on the size of your party or things like that. So there were things around that told you how to do it. But I don't judge people for not paying attention because you're on vacation, right? So the last thing you want to do is sit there and look at a TV screen above the map and be like, oh, this is how I should operate the elevator? Nah, you just go with it. The elevators were pretty quick when it wasn't busy. That is true. I'm very excited to ride that slide coaster. I have my GoPro charged and ready to go. John V, when are you going on the Aqua? We mastered those elevators. D, Yeah, and that's the one thing, right? As long as you master it, you'll be able to do it with no time. The P&O ones that have been rebranded to Carnival are still here. They're pretty crappy, not really Carnival. No Guys Burgers, no free ice cream, no all-day pizza, just change the signage. Well, that's kind of bummy. How are they not going to put a Guys Burger on the ship? Well, I can't really say how are they not going to do it, right? Because when they brought the Luminosa over, they didn't put a Guys Burger on the Luminosa. They just called it Off the Grill. Now, I will be honest. I want to get on board. Was it the Adventurer? One of those ships. Whatever one has Skywalker's nightclub, because I don't know what they called it on the P&O ship, but on the Caribbean Princess, it's laid out the same exact way. You have the big nightclub at the very, very top. It's pill shape of the aft of the ship. And on the Caribbean Princess, it was called the Skywalker's nightclub. And it's just 360 degrees of glass that went all the way around the nightclub, and it was really cool. And those ships are falling apart too. We wouldn't go on those ships again. They're really poor. That's sad too, because it's like something they're trying to push. John B. Nah, John V. John V does a lot of Royal. The no all-day pizza is rough. I love me some cruise ship pizza. That's the one big thing that I have an issue with Carnival, is they changed the time for their pizza. Now, it wasn't every night that I needed pizza, but there was some nights where I left a piano bar, had a couple drinks in me, or left the casino, had a couple drinks in me. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, me and Chucky would go get some pizza. Scott would shoot me a message, yo, bro, I'm heading back to the cabin. It'd be like 1 o'clock, you wanted pizza. I can't get that no more. The stuff they put on the Lido that they call pizza, that's not even pizza. That's just focaccia bread with sauce and cheese. And it's disappointing because that was the one big thing Carnival had, but it was always busy, so I don't know why they got rid of it. It was one of those things that was always busy in the middle of the night. It was the only food option that was open. So I think, my opinion is they got rid of it because it was costing more money to have it open later. So they cut it out and they did this midnight buffet thing, which is garbage in my opinion, but that was the one thing I miss, and I still miss. Going to change over to mobile, leaving my work desk. Appreciate it. Last time we were on them, the food was so bad I couldn't eat it, and I was so hungry by the time I got home. I was so happy I could eat again. Well, that definitely sucks. That definitely sucks. John V, I'll be on the Aqua this Saturday. Jealous. I don't get on board the Aqua until July. So I'm a little jealous, not going to lie. You're going to have to let me know how it is. Everyone's saying it's a great ship. So I got the Jubilee out of Galveston the end of the month. I fly out on the 30th. I board on the 31st. Then I got the Aqua in July. Nothing in August. I have the Star of the Seas in September. I have the Star Princess in October, and then the Mardi Gras Transatlantic back in October. Now, MSC done sent your boy an email yesterday and said, hey, bro, want to get on the World America for free? And I was like, hey, I do, but I really don't have time. So now I'm trying to figure out where between July and August I can mash the World America in there, and I'd hit quads of new ships this year. I would hit a quad trip of new ships. If I get the World America in, there'd be 4 brand new ships that were built and commissioned and put in service in 2025 that I would hit this year. That's pretty good for a guy who didn't pick up a camera until 2021, I must say. So while I got you with that one, look at y'all. Y'all are making me proud. We got 19 watching with 19 likes. I don't even have to be like, yo, what's up? Y'all doing me dirty? I got 20 of y'all and only 5 likes. Smash that like button. So I can't even hit y'all with the, hey, y'all need to like the video. But I can hit you with this. Let me hit you with a commercial real quick, because this is the last week Martin's going to see it for the next 2 weeks, because Martin is going on his honeymoon this weekend. He is flying into Miami, and him and Haley are going away for 2 weeks. So congratulations again to them, the newlyweds. And then we'll get back to the comments. But y'all check this out first. That song is catchy. I'm over here dancing. And listen, while y'all were watching that, I was pulling up the stats on my phone. My Phillies won 7-6, full sweep on the Tampa Bay Rays with a comeback game. And we'll talk about that for a second before we go back to the comments. I don't know if y'all watch baseball or have any sports that you watch religiously. I am a big football freak. I'm a massive baseball freak. I don't miss a single game. I watch every game. I pay for the MLB network. How is it that I live 40 minutes north of Tampa, where the Phillies are playing in Tampa, the game's not on TV, and it's blacked out on the MLB app? So I couldn't watch the game for the last 3 days. I just had to listen to it. The old school way, obviously, the old school way. So it's a little disappointing I didn't get to watch those games. John V's got the Italian restaurant booked on the Aqua. That is definitely one on my list. Booking for all of that has not opened up yet. It still tells me it's not available. Same with my Royal Caribbean cruise. It's still telling me specialty is unavailable. Martin, don't be sorry. That's why them Creator Corner posts are there, for everyone to be able to see all of the pictures and all of that fun stuff. I can tell you we tried every specialty restaurant on board the Sun Princess, including Spellbound and Loved by Brito. They were all so good, but I absolutely loved Crown Grill and the Pizza Plaza, the pizza place. Oh, so Alfredo's. Alfredo's has a phenomenal pizza. It's one of my favorite pizzas. It used to be an included option on board Princess, but it's no longer included. It is included with the Plus and Premier. With Plus, I think you get 2 casualty dinings. With Premier, it is unlimited. So if not, it's an a la carte menu for anybody without Plus or Premier, but it is absolutely amazing. The Princess Pizza, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I see the International Cafe had you hooked, the 24-hour option. I love the International Cafe. It's one of those great things. Spellbound, to me, was an awesome experience. I absolutely love Spellbound. Now, I didn't do every specialty dining on board that ship. We did Spellbound. We did Butcher Block by Dario. We did The Catch by Rudy. And there was a few others that we could have did that we didn't do. So I'm definitely going to make sure I hit those other ones that I didn't do on board the Star Princess. And then I'm going to just put a big video together for everyone that's going to Alaska. And it's going to be all specialty restaurants. But the reason I played that video is we're getting into Mother's Day weekend. And right now, Princess has a Mother's Day sale. So we can get you booked in for $100 deposits. You can be the 41st person on board, because we are booking people left and right. A few people had to pull out. So we dropped from 40 to 39, and then we're back up to 40. Whatever the case may be, you could get on board the Alaska cruise sailing out of Seattle next year on board the brand new Star Princess, heading to Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway, and cruising Endicott Fjord and Duerge Glacier. So I'm still waiting on Princess for the excursions because for some reason, no matter what email address you send it to, there's always a problem. It gets kicked back. I spent 2 hours on the phone with them yesterday. The problem's supposed to be resolved. So I'm supposed to have something by Monday. So hopefully next week in the Alaska group cruise page on Facebook, you guys will be seeing posts there. And then I'm going to start reaching back out to these hotels because we're getting to the summer months now. Kids are getting ready to be on summer break starting the end of this month. Their last day of school is the 30th. Then they head up to New Jersey to visit with in-laws and family for a few weeks. And then it's back to school in August. So we'll definitely have the hotels figured out and locked in probably by the beginning of August and go from there. Uber Cruisers in the house. What's going on, Ian? I hope you guys are having a great day. You need to get Superbox. Yeah. I had a buddy of mine tell me that tonight too. He was like, yo, dude, get Superbox. And I was like, yeah, but I already pay all this extra money. It doesn't cost. I'll look into it. I usually use Dofu, but for some reason Dofu hasn't been working. So I just listened to it the old school way. I was all right with that. When Haley and I get off the Beyond, Marlins and Rays play, we may go $13 for a horrible game. Might as well. Now, listen, I'll tell you this, right? So every year we usually go in September. It happens to fall around my daughter's birthday, so we always plan a trip to Miami to catch at least 2 Phillies games versus the Marlins. For some reason, the Marlins are always trash, and every time we go, the Phillies lose. It doesn't matter. They lose. But I usually try and get the same seats. It puts us right in the outfield. I'm out there with the boys. I can scream at them. The boys can scream at them. And it's just an awesome little spot, right, to catch some nice little homer balls from the big bats like Schwarber and Harper. So it's just one of those things we usually do. This year, unfortunately, I have to break the tradition a little bit because I'm getting on board the Star of the Seas on the 7th. My daughter's birthday is on the 6th. And I'll be boarding the ship on the 7th, and that's when the Phillies are in Miami. So I might have been able to catch one game if I got down there sooner, but then I realized the Star is going to be sailing out of Port Canaveral, so I'm going to be nowhere near Miami. So we made changes with that this year. However, that doesn't mean we're not going to get to a Phillies game, and it doesn't mean they're not going to get to a Phillies game because they're going to be up in Jersey right across the bridge from Philadelphia for a few weeks. Having a great day. Our older daughter just had the second child yesterday. Sophia and mother and baby are doing well. That is awesome to hear, Ian. Congratulations. It's good to hear that mother and baby are doing well. That is phenomenal. I'm going to have to do a conversion on that weight. 4 kilograms. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it before somebody else does. 4.039. 8 pounds, 9 ounces. 8 pounds, 9 ounces. And mom and baby are doing well. That is awesome. So congratulations again. You won't hear me say the baby was born and it was 8 pounds, 5 ounces here because all my babies are born. I don't have no more. I don't have no more. Mm-mm. No. But that's what's going on here. Nothing crazy this weekend. Mom's birthday's tomorrow. Mother's Day, all that crazy stuff this weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. Little man's got tryouts on Sunday. Oh, it's going to be busy. Busy. Other than that, we're only 20-some days away from the next adventure, so yeah, 20-some days away, 22 days. 22 days till we board the ship, 21 till I fly out, which Southwest is probably mad at me right now because every day I check the website. If my flight's cheaper, I make them issue me a refund. I get a credit. Between yesterday and today, I think I saved, it was like $29 on both my flights. It doesn't come back to me. It just comes back as a flight credit for future travel, but they don't expire. So with all the flying that I do, I try to get as much of that money back as possible if I can. That's pretty much what my daughter weighed. Well, my daughter actually weighed a bit more. She was 4.2, I think. Yeah, babies used to come bigger back in the day. When I was born, I think I was like 10 or 11 pounds, something like that. I was a big baby. Will G's youngest graduates college tomorrow. That's amazing. Congrats to them. It's such happy news tonight. It's a great Thursday. Look at all the happy news coming out with this Thursday. It's awesome. Diabetics giving out memberships. A bunch of you now have new memberships who didn't have memberships before. Babies are being born. Gay beats Scott. She was the first one here. Oh, it's just awesome. Kids graduating college. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And we have a new Pope. First ever American Pope. It's a great day. Today's a great day. Write this down. Put it in your books. Today was a great day. Bachelor's in criminal justice with a minor in... Oh my God, that's exactly what I wanted to go to college for. Literally, that is what I was going to college for. I wanted to do forensics. I wanted to do criminal justice. And then I had kids. And I never went back. I became a truck driver instead, which I do like driving a truck. I'm really not an office person. And to be honest, I like people. I like you people, but I don't like all people. I love everybody, but I love y'all even more. I live in Florida. Being a truck driver is better for me. My scenery changes every day. I don't sit and stare at a computer for 8 hours a day. I don't think I could do that. But yeah, I wanted to be a cop, man, with forensic science background. That's what I wanted to do. And I never went back to school after having a kid. Maybe one day. Maybe one day when YouTube takes off and sends me to the moon, I'll be able to go back to school because I'll have more time. So maybe one day. Sharon said I had 3 big babies. First one was 9 pounds 6 ounces. Second was 9 pounds 11. Third, 8 pounds 3. So I understand big babies. Yeah, big babies, man. They don't come as big as they used to. It's kind of like the old timers talking about cars. They don't make them like they used to. Nah, they used to come a lot bigger back in the day than they do now. But it's a great day. New Pope, babies being born, kids graduating college. So much amazing stuff going on. And I'm back from an epic adventure on board the Carnival Venezia. Now, I do have the Jubilee coming up in the end of the month. I keep saying June because it's like the 31st. But I do have the Jubilee coming up at the end of the month. My mom will be with me on board that trip. So that'll be a fun little adventure with Mom. And I've really done a lot of stuff on board that ship already, but I think I can make the content better. So even though I've already done a ship tour, I think I'm going to do a new ship tour. I'm also going to do a few little videos and tips and tricks along the way to get to your next cruise destination. Kind of like packing videos and things like that. So that's going to come out relatively soon, before that trip actually. And I'm going to make a video of the top 5 things I always take with me on every cruise, no matter the length of the cruise, because you never know when you're going to need it. So that's all going to be coming out relatively over the next couple of weeks. We're already at the 8th. Tomorrow's the 9th. I leave the 30th, so I literally have 21 days. So I want to try and get out as much as possible to y'all before then. Will G has 20 days to Alaska. That's epic. Will G, did you hear it? MSC was like, yo, bro, I want to get on the ship. And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to squeeze it in between July and August. It's an inside cabin, which I'm all right with. I'll take it. I'll get on board. Inside cabin all day long. All day long. I don't plan on staying in the room anyway. But I'm have a little FOMO, man, with everybody getting on that ship for the inaugural and all that and seeing everybody's content. I'm kind of like, yeah, I should have stuck with that itinerary once we realized we weren't going to Australia. I should have rebooked it. And we're all hanging together, chatting amongst friends. Nah, we're not friends here, Gay. We're family. This is family. Cruising creates families. It creates communities. It brings everyone together. That's one thing I love about doing all of this. We bring everyone together. It creates this cruising community and family, and that's what I love about the Facebook group too, because I put out that creator corner post every month, and it's just not a creator corner post, right? I want to see your pictures. I want to see all the fun stuff. So like with kids graduating college, it's awesome to post your pictures there and tell a little backstory. New grandbabies coming in, post a picture, tell a little story. You don't have to feel obligated, but that's why it's there. It's there for everyone to chat amongst each other, to lift spirits when spirits are low, and to just enjoy it. So post away. That's why it's there. Post away. We were in an interior. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure it out and try and get it squeezed in, but we'll see what happens. 20 days till Alaska. 20 days till I go to Texas. Martin's getting ready to come to Miami. It's a great weekend. It's going to be a great weekend, and it's been a great Thursday. I'm going to cut it here, y'all. I have nothing more to say except for get on board the Carnival Venezia if you can. It was absolutely wonderful. If you're wondering how many points I closed out the casino with at the end of the trip, for all of you casino freaks that follow along, I closed the trip out at 44,000 points, just shy of 44,000 points in 7 days. I am hoping for one of those big old echo offers, Carnival, if you're listening. I'm tired of these little mediocre elite offers. Sharon, there is a link in the description of the video that takes you to the Facebook group. So if you just go right down the info, you'll read everything that I posted about the Venezia, things like that. And then at the very bottom, it'll say join the Facebook community. There's a link right there that'll take you right over to the Facebook community. Actually, let me try and do this. I don't know if I can do it while I'm on here, but I'll try it real quick. Share. Nope. Copy link. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Click on that link right there. And I think that will take you right on over to the Facebook group. Other than that, that's pretty much it. That's a wrap on this week. You can put a bow on it. I'm going to go and eat some Vegemite. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that tonight. The kids are sleeping. But I'm going to go. I'm going to call it a night. It was great hanging out with all of y'all. Get on board the Venezia if you can. Take my word for it. It's an epic ship, and you will not be disappointed. But until next time, y'all know what to do. Y'all stay naughty. Peace. I said stay naughty.